Hey everyone, welcome back to the VW ID Talk podcast. We are Wes and Jan, and we are so glad that you're here. If you're passionate about Volkswagen or about EVs in general, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget, you can also catch us on your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Overdrive, and of course, here on YouTube for a visual experience. Jan and I, and particularly Jan, have been working for months on this project, which we alluded to in our last episode about steering wheel buttons. And I'm happy to say, look what Jan has built. You hear that nice, satisfying click? Yes, that's the click of Audi using mechanical key switches for their buttons. And I want to brag, Jan designed this part. So last time with the steering wheel buttons, we talked about how everything fit together beautifully without modification. This is a much more complicated mod, but I think that you will find it's the juice is worth the squeeze, as it were. So Jan, this is your baby, and you really did amazing work to figure this out. Why don't you tell us what you've done here?
We moved from the
looks so good
2 button switches,
yes,
to the 4 button switches, and you can see the actual photo from my car before and after.
Yeah, it looks really great. That's beautiful.
So as you see, 1, 2 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! All right. So you might be asking, why 4 window switches? So in my mind, the 2 window switches are not a bad idea if executed well. And I'm not sure how all of you love this rear button that we all had on those old switches. Yeah. Well, I did not enjoy that that much.
I literally cursed at that last night. I was in the car. I was like, I'm so glad we're recording this episode today, because I tried to roll down my window to let a mosquito out or something, and I hit the rear button. And I think this whole thing would have been better if it was just a physical push button that locks down into the rear position.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
Yes, exactly. But that wasn't the entire challenge that I had with this button. But as you see, there's no geometry that would help you find the button blindly, right? So you literally have to look where the button is, and the button lights up. But yes, it lights up, but it lights up below your finger, so you don't see if it lit up. Okay, well, great. Cool. And then I also many times accidentally bumped into this button, which is the child lock. So if you hear this weird clicking from the back, that's the child lock. And it happened to me so many times.
Yeah, me too. I've hit that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Particularly when my kids are trying to get out of the car at school in the morning. And then that's very frustrating. So you've written down, I think we just kind of covered the reasons, but there's not only is it hidden under your finger, but there's no haptic feedback at all for that.
Exactly. There's no haptic feedback. And we did an episode about buttons and touch buttons with and without haptic feedback. So check that out. We link it right here. And by the way, I created some hack, because you know me. So I created some hack to the bottom here. So I added a vibration motor, and I linked it to the LED, and it's on my GitHub page. I'll link it down below. Yeah. So every time you press it, the motor keeps vibrating. So it's not perfect, but it was okay. So I survived for a couple of years, but there is a better solution.
I forgot that you did that. That's amazing. But this solution is going to make everybody happier.
Exactly. So why 4 switches? Well, you can open any window with, of course, any switch that is mapped to each window, as in other cars that you might be used to.
Yeah.
It also, I went back to my cross breeze pattern. I'm not sure if somebody out there is the cross breeze pattern person, meaning opening left front and rear right window.
Okay.
It was almost impossible to do with the rear button.
Gotcha.
And there is, of course, a little downside is that now this is one assembly that VW had that had everything, meaning of course, the child lock, the window switches, the mirror adjustment, and also lock and unlock button.
Yeah.
Now, this mod actually converts it into the physically 3 different components. So there's some wiring and there are more things to worry about, but I feel like it's much more accessible for me as a user. So that's why I like it. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the retrofit itself. So as Wes mentioned, we have this retrofit framework, how it mechanically fits. So can you drop it in? How it fits electrically. So can you plug it in into an existing harness? Or is the module that needs to be reading all these signals good enough in the car, or do you need to upgrade that module? And then is there any adaptation or long coding setting that you need to do? For this one, mechanically, I specifically say it's hard because we need to design some specific parts that, of course, don't exist OEM, and we need to cut into the existing trim so we can drop this in. Electrically, it's relatively easy. The harness that you need for this mod and a harness that you need to integrate into your existing harness. So it's not necessarily just like plug and play. But the good news is that the door module has all those functions. So you don't have to worry about the door module, but you have to only worry about the electrical connection. And adaptation, very easy.
Okay.
So doing the retrofit, once you have the 3D printed part, it's not that hard. So this is how it looks. So this is my close-up with the latest print. And yes, I still don't have that piano black handle snapped in because I'm still fine-tuning some things. So I need to open it and close it.
And you don't want to break it by opening and closing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's already so fragile. Like those pins are so fragile.
Yeah. But I wanted to say real quick about this, Jan, how, first of all, Jan designed this part. You can tell it was 3D printed if you look closely, but I think it looks so good you can barely tell. Yep. But the nice thing is that in the Audi, this comes in many, many different models of Audi.
Exactly.
The way it's designed, the mirror switch is usually set further apart than this, depending on the model of the car. And because they're separate pieces, you can pop them both out of the trim, and you were able to bring them closer together. So that really made it to where you were able to fit them into that trim.
Yes.
And I love that you also have all the same functions. You've got left and right mirror adjustment. Yep. You've got mirror folding button and the heated mirror defrost. Yep. And so we could take two pieces that might have been out here in an Audi and put them close together, and they fit almost perfectly in here.
Yep. Yep. They do.
I was just say the whole hardest part of this mod had to be designing that piece. But I'm sorry, what were you about to say about that?
No, I just wanted to say that I just copied the layout from the Q4 e-tron.
Okay.
I wanted to transfer over some of the interior or some of the door trim, but it's very different shape. Even despite it's the same car, same platform of the car, the shape of the trim is different. So I couldn't just drop the Audi trim. I just had to manufacture the interface, the physical interface for the VW.
Of course, that would have been ideal if you could have just popped the Audi trim off and popped it onto your ID.4.
Exactly. And this is how it looks. This is one of my early prototypes, and you see, I have been iterating. I really love that when you're 3D printing, you can iterate very fast. So one of those early prints were really a couple minutes, and then I do every prototype in red, so I can perfectly see the gaps and make sure that I dialed in those gaps.
Okay, so it's easier to see if something's misaligned or doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay, and here's your CAD model. Okay,
this is the CAD model in Fusion 360, and this is how it looks. It took me a couple of days to get to a very good fit, but I also included or designed these specific cut plates, so I can. Because there is some physical cutting of the piano gloss handle that because this is little longer.
So this is so you can put that down and actually use it as a template to cut it.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. And then when I dropped it into the slicer for the 3D printer, this is how it looked. And if I go into the preview, you see that I had to use the supports, of course, that makes sense. And it printed for about 3 hours. And this is PETG, very nice, like relatively shiny. So it matches with the piano gloss part that we have on the board in the car already.
Okay. Well, I think it looks great.
And then this is actually the piano gloss piece. These parts of the trim, like on the top, like I had to cut out this part, and also the same thing on the bottom here. And
so you taped it with painter's tape to make it less likely that you would skate across.
Exactly. And because I designed the drill template, so I drilled like 4 holes in the corner They are very nicely round, and I just literally cut as you see in the red line here, indicated in the red line here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So cut smaller. You can always make it bigger.
Exactly. And it was relatively. It was not easy. People need patience for this, because if it has to be perfect, right?
Did you use an oscillating saw or a Dremel, or what did you do?
I have at the end I have decided to use a hot knife. So it's literally a attachment for my soldering iron that is a knife.
Oh, that's beautiful. So the nice thing is, to set people's mind at ease, this is the only part that needs to be cut to make this work. And this trim piece is between $25 and $40 from the dealership. So if you mess it up, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. That's really good. That's really good point. In
fact, I have two spares right now.
You do have two spares.
For when I just bought them because I wanted to attempt this myself. And so I haven't cut them yet. So
cool. And this is how it looks inside, because of course to do this mod you have to drop the door trim, and this mod is done only on the driver's side, so it's only one door. And what you see here inside, this is the door control module.
Yeah.
And right here, this is a connector that is very densely populated in the module, but when you would see the ID.4 harness, it has only a couple wires in there. And so what you actually then need to do is kind of create a harness that would introduce all these different connections for the new modules and connect into this one connector.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And here's a time lapse how I made the harness. So you see it starts very hairy, and then as I wrapped it up, it started looking
looks like it belongs there.
Yeah, thank you, thank you for that. So to give you all a sense of where we were and what we introduced by this harness. So this is the original connector that connects the two window switches. I kept it there.
And that's one connector.
That's one connector that has
the lock and the mirror switches and the window. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's all in one module, and we know why it's done like that, right? The word is spelled COST, and then
yes,
and then this is another connect. This is the new connector for the Windows switches, right?
Yeah.
So that's the black connector, and then this 4-pin connector is for a lock and unlock button.
Okay, the brown one.
I haven't situated that one yet, so that one is like TBD yet.
Okay.
And then here, the one that is hiding right here below is for
the mirror switch.
The mirror switch.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then it kind of plugs in, and once you're ready, it's all there. So
so good.
So where we are today, well, this is a pretty solid, I would say, post POC, post proof of concept stage. I've been driving with the car for a couple of weeks now, and I really love it. I've dialed in the 3D model a little bit, but so it's perfectly flush now, and all the switches operate very nicely. So the good news is that the door module that at least I had in my 2021 ID.4 can accept the 4-window switch. I was worried that I would need to upgrade that module. That would be then a little harder. The only caveat, of course, is that I had to fabricate a custom harness and 3D print the parts that are needed for the physical fitment. And as Wes mentioned on the beginning, this mod gives you a big choice of what switches do you want to use? Do you want to use the switches from Volkswagen, from Jetta or Atlas or Skoda, ENIAC, or do you really want to use the Q4 e-tron switches that I use that are very clicky?
So, and I think I'll add to that. I've got the Skoda mirror controller and switches, and the Skoda switches are the exact same part number as the Volkswagen Atlas switches. And so we're going to keep experimenting on this. We're going to work with the door lock and see to get that working. But we also are going to see if we can find a way to get a harness that's plug and play. That may not be possible, but you'll have choices, right? The Audi parts are usually going to be higher quality parts. Maybe the Volkswagen maybe the Volkswagen parts look better when they get fitted into your car, look more like a Volkswagen. We'll see. I think the Audi parts look great in there, Jan.
Yep.
But we got some more work. But this is great because you've been using this for several weeks.
Yes,
and it works.
Yes. I have been using this, and please follow us on the VW ID Talk forum. We are also adding link down below to the video to the page where we are discussing the latest innovation, and we also will post a table of what are the part numbers for each type of mod. But keep in mind that if you go with the Volkswagen or Skoda or Audi switches, the 3D printed part would need to be different. So keep that in mind.
Volkswagen and Skoda will be different from your Audi part.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, cool. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and catch us with the next episode. And I'm thinking there might be more buttons. No?
I can see buttons in our future.
I see. Amazing. Yes, same here. Same here. So please subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.